Okay, what's going on YouTube? Today we're going to go over how to beat Shadow Lugia raid in Pokemon Go. So Shadow Lugia is out for this weekend only, at least for the time being. Shadow Lugia is a very tough raid boss. You're going to need quite a few trainers in order to beat this. So we'll go over its weaknesses. So Shadow Lugia is a psychic flying type, so it's got 5 weaknesses, which is it's single weak to all of them, which is rock, ghost, electric, ice, and dark. So depending on what moveset you go up against, like if you go up against Psychic, you're probably going to prefer using Dark types because it's going to resist. Or depending on your weather, if you have fog, rain, snow, or partly cloudy. So it boosts all their respective types. So what movesets does Shadow Lugia have? It has 2 fast moves, Dragon Tail and Extra Sensory. So it gets the same type attack boost for Extra Sensory, but not Dragon Tail. And then it's got 3 charge moves, Sky Attack, Hydro Pump, and Future Sight. So yeah, it gets the same type of attack boost for Future Sight and Sky Attack. So what else do we need to go over? This looks like, I don't think this thing can be duoed. I could be wrong. Maybe someone with all these new boosts, if you get like the right weather, party boost, and primal boost, all that stuff, maybe someone can pull a duo off with gems, obviously, but I don't think so. I mean, even this trio looks tough, especially without, I don't even know if you could do the trio without weather. You would need like, yeah, it looks brutal without weather. So I think you would need like minimum 4 strong trainers to beat this thing. I could be wrong. Maybe someone will pull it off, but yeah, I recommend you're gonna need a large group to beat this. It's unfortunate Niantic isn't letting us remote raid these shadows. This is one scenario where I feel like we definitely could use remote raid because a lot of people aren't gonna be able to beat this thing. In my opinion, even if you have the 4 strong trainers or 3 really strong trainers with the right counters and everything, I think it's just too difficult. So we'll go over some of the best Pokemon you could use. So even if you have like 8 people. So we'll start off as always with the Megas. The best Mega I believe you can use is Tyranitar. Mega Tyranitar. You want Smackdown Brutal Swing, seems like the best move. Yeah, Smackdown Brutal Swing. Now, I think Mega T-Tar is going to resist Extra Sensory and Future Sight, and I believe Sky Attack. Yeah, so the only thing, it's only going to be weak against Hydro Pump. Alright, let's see. Who's the second Pokemon that we're going to use? So that's the first Mega, T-Tar. The second one we could use, a little Glacier, way Glacier, but it does hit very hard, is Mega Gengar. You want Lick Shadow Ball on this one. Now, how is this thing going to do against the movesets? It's going to get hurt by the Psychic movesets, and that's the only issue with Gengar, but it's going to do well against Hydro Pump and Sky Attack. I think that's why I don't like Gengar. It's the poison typing kind of hurts it. So it just doesn't last long enough to abuse its boost like Tyranitar does. That's like the only issue. Let's see. So that's the second Mega. Who's the third one? Third on the list is Bennett, whereas Mega Bennett is the third one you could use. I think this one's use Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball. It's a little bit better than Gengar. It's still pretty glassy, but it's not gonna get totally destroyed by Psychic. But everything is neutral, so it's just a solid pick. It'll last a little bit longer than Gengar, but not by much, which is crazy. Okay, so the next Mega you could use, which I don't know if a lot of people have energy for this, is Mega Diancie. It's a Rock Fairy type. You want Rock Throw, Rock Slide on this. It's a little tankier than, not as tanky as T-Tar, but it's still a pretty good pick. It's damage-wise, it's pretty close, but the only benefit you get from Diancie, I think, is that it's going to resist Dragon Tail because of the Fairy typing. I think that's the only advantage. All right, let's scroll down. Is there any other Megas we could... Yeah, there's actually quite a few we could use. Next up is Mega Rayquaza. Rayquaza is like on every list just because it's Dragon Descent and Mega Rayquaza are just a brutal combination. How's it going to do against all the movesets? It's going to resist Hydro Pump. That's good. But it's going to be weak to Dragon Tail, so that's the only thing that's special there. But if you want to use Mega Rayquaza, even though you're not going to be really boosting anyone, because you're not going to be using Flying or Dragon types, it's still a decent pick. Okay. So now we got Rayquaza out the way. The usual, we just always have to include Rayquaza on every list now, apparently. Next other Mega we could use is Aerodactyl. Mega Aerodactyl. It's kind of... Does the flying typing help it? You want Rock to the Rock Slide on this. I don't think the flying typing helps it at all. It's going to be weak to Hydro Pump, just like T-Tar, but it's not going to resist Future Sight or Extra Sentry, so it kind of hurts it there. So I think that's the only difference. So yeah, Mega T-Tar is way better. I guess we still got a few more Megas we got to go over. Yeah, quite a few, actually. There's just a lot, because this thing has 5 weaknesses, so it makes sense. Mega Houndoom you can use, kind of the same situation as T-Tar. You want Snarl Foul Play on this thing. How is it going to do? It's going to double resist Extra Sentry and Future Sight, just like T-Tar. Dragon Tail will be neutral, Sky Attack will be neutral, but it's going to be weak to Hydro Pump, just like T-Tar. So it's just a worse version of T-Tar, basically. Alright. Any other Megas we need to go over? Oh, I missed one. I forgot this thing's up there as well. Manectric. Manectric's solid. Mega Manectric, Thunderfang, Wild Charge. So it being an electric is going to resist Sky Attack, and everything else will be neutral. So that's the only benefit. But the electrics are some of the best Pokemon you can use, like Shadow Raikou. We'll go over those on the list. So yeah, Mega Manectric is solid. Outside of like T-Tar, I think is like the second best Mega you could use, maybe, because it doesn't do as much damage as Gengar Bennett, but it's a little tankier, so it's just a pretty good pick. And I feel like the electrics might be like the top counters. But we'll go over that list. All right, so we got Mega Manectric. Who else did we miss? I think we got, well, let me see. Are we going to include this one? No. I guess, yeah, we will include this. So 1, 2, 3. We got 3 more Megas. Or is it 4? No, 3. We'll go over one more electric, which is Mega Ampharos, which is basically a worse version of Mega Manectric. You want Volt Switch. Oh, this thing knows Brutal Swing? When did this thing learn Brutal Swing? So yeah, I guess you could use Brutal Swing with Mega Ampharos. I didn't know. But this gains a Dragon typing when it Mega Evolves, so you're going to be weak to Dragon Tail, but you will resist Hydro Pump and Sky Attack, so it's not a bad choice. Okay, so we got Ampharos, and then we got, after Ampharos, we got 2 more picks, 2 more Dark types, which is Mega Absol. Where is Absol? Yeah, what moveset do you want for Absol? Snarl Dark Pulse. This thing's gonna do really good if you don't have like energy for Houndoom or T-Tar. You can use this against like a psychic move. It's gonna double resist both. Snarl Dark Pulse. So that's it. The only benefit of this is not gonna be weak to Hydro Pump like Houndoom and T-Tar. That's the only difference. And then one last Pokemon we'll go over for the Megas is Gyarados. Mega Gyarados, which gains a Dark typing. So how is Mega Gyarados going to do? You want to use Bite Crunch. How is Mega Gyarados going to do against so it's going to double resist Extra Sensory and Future Sight. So it's pretty good there. Sky Attack will be neutral. And it's going to resist Hydro Pump. So it's not a bad choice if you want to use Mega Gyarados. Alright, so that's all the Megas we're going to go over. And yeah, I wouldn't use like the others. Even though they have like super effective moves. You want to get the boost. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend using anything else against this thing. Okay. So now we'll go over some of the top shadows, or just some of the top Pokemon in general. So Shadow and Tyranitar is the #1 pick. That's not a Mega with, you want Smackdown, Brutal Swing. Same thing as Mega T-Tar, is just the best non-Mega. I guess we'll go over the Darks first that you could use. Shadow Weavile is also decent. Now with Shadow Weavile, you want to use Snarl and Avalanche. Avalanche is just a better move than Foul Play. You can see it right there. Now, Weavile is going to, since it's a Dark, is going to do pretty good against Future Sight. But outside of that, everything else is neutral. Okay, is there any other Dark Shadows that we need to go over? I don't think so. Okay, so we're just going to go over some of the top counters. And then Shadow, and I guess we'll just go over all the electric shadows that you could use real quick. So the best one, I think, is Shadow Raikou. Thundershock Wild Charge is a pure electric, so it's only going to resist Sky Attack. And then we got Shadow Electric. Okay, we got Shadow Electivires. Pretty close with Raikou. So same thing as Raikou. It's only going to resist Sky Attack. And then we got Shadow Zapdos with Thundershock Thunderbolt. Same thing here. The flying type, it doesn't help it at all. Now, Magnezone is actually pretty good since because of the steel typing. So with the steel typing, it's going to resist Future Sight, and I think it's going to double resist Sky Attack. Yeah, double resist Sky Attack. So it's really good against Sky Attack if you have like a few Shadow Magnezones. Let's go over some of the other top electrics before we move on. Another electric you can use is like Circuitry. I think Raikou, Electivire, and Circuitry are all close. You want Spark, Discharge here. Mine has Thunder Shock. I don't know why. It's a pure electric, so only good against Sky Attack. And then let's go over with I think this is the last. One of the last electrics that I recommend using is Zekrom with Charge Dream Fusion Bowl. You can use Wild Charge as well if you don't have one, since Fusion Bowl is a legacy move. Now, it's a Dragon typing, so it's going to resist Hydro Pump and Sky Attack. Future Sight will be neutral, but you are weak to Dragon Tail because of the Dragon typing. Okay, and then last one, which is, I think everyone should have this Pokemon, is Hydreigon, whatever, how do you pronounce it, with Bite, Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing is a Community Day move, but it's, I think it does pretty well against, since it's a Dragon, it's going to resist Hydro Pump, double resist Future Sight since it's a Dark, but you are weak to Dragon Tail, that's the only issue there. And some of the other Pokemon you can use, some of the top counters is like Shadow Mewtwo, but you do need Psycho Cut Shadow Ball on this one. Shadow Mewtwo is gonna resist Future Sight, and everything else is just neutral. It's gonna single resist the Psychic moves. And then we'll go over Shadow Mamo. So if you guys don't have these shadows, you can also use the regular versions. They're just not as good, but they're still solid picks. So you can use Shadow Mamo with Powder Snow Avalanche. It's an Ice Ground typing, but so it's going to be weak to Hydro Pump. That's about it. Everything else is neutral. Okay, Shadow Luxray. Do I have a Shadow Luxray? I don't think so. I have a Shadow Shinx. So if you have this, it's you want to Spark Wild Charge. This is not a Dark type. It's just a pure Electric, so it's only going to resist Sky Attack. Okay. Is there anyone else that we really need to go over? I guess Giratina Origin Form, because a lot of people have this thing. You need the Legacy move, though. Do I have one with the Legacy move? Where's my Giratinas at? Should have one. Yeah, with Shadow Force. It's a Dragon Ghost. Does the Ghost typing help it? No. The Dragon typing just helps you resist Hydro Pump, but you're weak to Dragon Tail. So that's it. Okay. So I guess this is a new Pokemon. If you guys have it, you can use Shadow Gengar. It is so glassy, but if you do have one, you can use it. Same thing as the regular Mega Gengar, basically, so I don't have to really go over Shadow Gengar. Let me see who else I could go over on this list. Is Shadow Rhyperior out now? I didn't know. I guess we'll go with Thundurus. Thundurus Therian. So the flying typing doesn't help it, so it's just an electric, so it's only going to resist Sky Attack. You could use Honchkrow, Shadow Honchkrow. I think I don't have one of those either. I need to make one. So Dark Flying's and double resist Psychic. There's a lot of other Pokemon you could use, so I'll just go over who else. What's another I guess I'll go over these last two, since these Pokemon are pretty common. Most people have these. They've been out for a while. First is Rhyperior with Smackdown Rock Wrecker. It's a rock type, so it's going to resist. Yeah, it's going to resist Sky Attack, but it's going to be double weak to Hydro Pump. But there is a Shadow Rhyperior out, apparently. At least it's on Pokebattle. I don't know if I'm guessing it came out recently. Yeah, and then the last one I'll go over is because it's actually in raids right now, is Darkrai. It's a dark type, so it's going to double resist all the psychic moves, and then everything else should be neutral damage. So yeah, I think the video ran a lot longer than normal, so yeah, I hope you guys just... Lugia has so many counters, but you do need a big group, so I recommend you get... I think you need at least minimum 4 strong trainers, because it's not an easy trio, at least from what I'm looking at. I could be wrong, maybe someone will correct me in the comments, but yeah, I recommend at least 4 strong trainers, and if you don't, then you just need a large group. So good luck rating, you guys, because I'm probably not going to be able to rate this thing unless I go and find other people. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.